record me playing Prototype 1 and Prototype 2.
What's a prototype? Tell me what a prototype is, John Cena. I can't see you, John Cena.
So basically, have you heard of Infamous?
I go Infamous every time I play Payday, and I reach level 100. But I doubt that's I doubt that's the Infamous you're talking about.
For PS3.
I have not played it.
Okay. So basically, in Prototype, there is this disease that's going around that's turning people into rage monsters. And you are a guy named Alex Mercer who basically can morph his body into any kind of weapon, and you just you shred people into pieces.
Oh yeah?
The cover art literally looks like Soul Edge is growing out of his arm.
Speaking of slicing people into pieces, have you seen on Netflix the new Cyberpunk anime? It's like Cyberpunk. It's not Edgelords. That's not its name, but it's Cyberpunk edginess or something. It's literally something like that.
I have not. I don't really spend much time on Netflix unless I'm hanging out with Andy.
Well, Cyberpunk is an anime, and I watched an episode and a half. Surprise, surprise! It's become a meme at this point. To be fair, I fell asleep because it was way late at night in the second half. But I forgot why I brought it up that I watched this particular Cyberpunk thing. This is going to be a great episode. I can tell. I've got a very warm pit in the chest of my bones. That this is going to be good. Yeah. I have a cane sword, by the way. Did you know this?
I don't know what a cane sword is.
It's a cane. You know how MVP's got that cane? He's like, hey, here's the cane.
Oh, I got you.
But it's a snake on top. And then I turn it and turn the head around, and it's a sword. You can hear it.
Wouldn't be the first time I've heard you unsheathe.
Hey, I know when to whip my snake out. But only in the most literal sense.
Yes.
Yes. So, are you feeling like going on an adventure, sir?
Why, yes.
Do you? All right, well, here's how this is going to... Let me tell you the background as to why this is happening in the first place.
Okay.
I did my very first drug of Dungeons and Dragons. My very first Dungeons and Dragons. That didn't work. I can do better. We got a whole podcast to figure out better puns than that. Anyway, so
drug addicts and dragons.
Yeah, no, it's well. You may find some drug addicts in the dungeon, but we're getting to that. I did my first campaign. That's the thing. A friend of mine invited me to it. I'd never done it before. The only time I'd ever played any sort of D&D related thing was a PS2 game called Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance or Rip Your Teeth Out. Or Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. Both of which are spectacular games, so much so they remade them for the Switch and maybe even the PlayStation. I don't remember.
Okay.
But they are terrific games. I would love to do a co-op with one of them with you sometime. I don't know if you can do online play, but I will track you down. I will find you. And I will play this game. Because this game is lit.
I wanted to get some stuff so we could online play and I can record us playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, but I just couldn't. So much stuff for PS2 to make online play work. And
I know. It's such a rig and or on the roll. It's just... Yeah, it's terrible. It's just terrible. But
you have to hunt me down and put me in a cage when you find me.
So the point is I did this thing, and I just might, depending on how this game goes. What happened is this game took 4.5 hours, and I was a rogue dwarf, and I whipped every orc's ass. I was hacking and slashing and stabbing. In fact, I killed the boss monster and won it for everybody when I took both my short swords. I was a 4-foot dwarf. I stabbed a 10-foot orc that was on fire in the eyes with my 2 short swords and went sideways with them. And just the whole body just collapsed, and then everything blew up, and I died, and everyone was safe because our one healer was revived and had healed all of us. And it was 4.5 hours later, and I had work the next morning. And
Sounds like a fun time was had by all.
It was, actually. Now, in the same amount of time that happened, it took me to explain all of that. So, now that you have woken up the next morning after you clicked on this video, the reason that I am here is that I am now on just a choose-your-own-adventure creation cycle, where I am making all sorts of things based on not necessarily the exacts of Dungeons & Dragons, because that would be stealing. But kind of, I've got a couple different things I'm taking from, like, some Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff, and I'm taking some, but the improvisation of Dungeons & Dragons is just a hoot and or a holler. And I thought, what better thing for
Or a nanny.
Or a nanny. Well, our nanny is in Japan right now. Hi, Skylar. I hope you're doing well. Yes, he's on a much-needed vacation from a channel that barely posts. So
yeah. He's studying the ways of anime. And
that's right. Yeah, you see,
he has a tentacle coming out of every orifice as we speak right now.
I mean, that's just what you do when you're in Japan. That's why I want to go.
I'm actually going to message him right now. Where is Skylar?
Yeah.
I'm messaging him right now. How many tentacles up your anus right now?
On a scale of 1 to... How many...
Scale of 1
How much
to...
suction do you feel at this exact moment?
On a scale of 1 to gargling noises.
Skylar, just don't end up in a mukbang. That's all I have to say. That's all I am begging you. Do not end up in a...
Oh my god.
This isn't even the adventure, and we've already gone places.
Yeah, with tentacles.
Oh, it's going to get so much better. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. So I am going to be your guide through this journey. And I'm going to give you the ideas and the prompts for everything that you're going to have to do. Your objective is, in this, you are a watery mage man. Be happy for water. But you can be monster mage man. You're a monster mage.
Hell yeah, monster mage man.
Yeah, he did a graveyard rage, the monster mage. He caught on in a flange, the monster mage.
I'm going to steal the stage.
Yeah. So, you're going to have...
going to lock me in a cage.
That's right. Well, and like I said, we'll see where the night goes. So, what you're going to do here is your objective as this water mage is you are going into a dark temple to beat this magician that is harming villagers. And you've got to fight your way in and through, and you're going to have a few different options to what you're able to do at any given moment. And you can also improv a little bit yourself as to how it goes and where it's going to be, but the general prompts will be the same.
Okay.
So, here's what you're going to be able to do. Here are your commands. You can do random draw, and if you choose random draw, I roll dice. And whatever the dice I land on, based on 2 through 12, because I've got 2 dice, I'm going to draw a random card from my pile. These are Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but it's going to be the general gist of what's going to happen. So, we're taking a few liberties here. I will read the card what it is, and then how it applies to your situation. Your options, because you're going to encounter creatures on your way to go fight this magician. You can either summon creatures to your side and fight, and the way that we fight is that I roll 2 dice. You call any number between 2 and 12. If you're spot on, you get the best outcome. You get double the damage and on whatever it is, and that's the best outcome. If you're within 2, let's say for example, I roll a 6 and you guess 8, right? Still a good outcome. So you're still gonna, it's still gonna work, you're still gonna inflict damage or whatever the situation is for that. If you are within 4, right? If I roll an 8 and you call a 4, nothing happens. You just miss the attack or they just whiff. Or vice versa, it's gonna be imagine the opposite when they attack you. Because obviously...
Like a certified CIW 30%?
Right. And then, if you're further than 4, it's bad. You'll get, a trap. And that now, there are two things that can happen to you. You could die, or you could fall into a hole. Now, if you fall into a hole, what you have to do to revive yourself is I'm going to name a personality, and you have to give a compliment to that personality.
Oh.
And it has to be sincere. You can't have sarcastic compliments. We're promoting positivity, sir.
Shut up, Xavier Woods.
So we are going to.
I'm already failing at it.
Well, this is how it's going. This is how the master of dungeon is happening. Now, here's what can happen. You don't have to summon and fight in these situations. And now you can ask with these creatures, like, how big is their attack? Or what is their, what's their health or something like that. You can ask those questions at any time. You can feel free to ask any question you want, and I will just tell you if I'm not going to answer the question. Which is the whole point of me having the power. But you also have the option for outsmart. Now, let's say you encounter a creature and you choose the outsmart. I'm going to ask you a trivia question. If you get that right, then you will find a way to either pass that person, or depending on how good the trivia question is, you'll find a way to kind of manipulate your way around that particular obstacle. And maybe something good will happen on top of that. You can, of course, random draw, which is also very fun, because then I just roll dice and choose. And so those are your options, is summon and fight, outsmart, and random draw. Okay? All right. Now, are you ready to begin? You are ready here. Do you have a name for yourself?
Monster Mage Man.
Monster Mage Man. Are you wearing brightly colored tights? Are you a superhero?
Yes.
Are you a good guy or an evil man? Or neutral? You can be neutral.
Absolutely neutral. I feel like that's the most fun.
That's right.
Most flexibility.
That's right. Get the most flexibility. You do the most yoga. Dallas Page is like way too much in the blue for me. I like the stretches, but like his positivity sometimes is like, all right, like
he immediately was like, stop drinking so much Monster.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I couldn't do that. Yeah, that was Drake meme. No. All right, so are you ready to begin this, sir?
Why, yes.
Now I'm going to give you an option here. Before you begin, I'm going to give you one spell that you can cast at any time. Okay? And you have 3 of these on this particular motion. You have a forbidden dress that you get to wear, and if you do that, your opponent will lose 6 attack.
Okay.
You have a lance. If you use this lance, you will gain 800 attack.
A lot of attack.
And then you have a chalice. 800, I'm sorry, I'm using Yu-Gi-Oh cards. 8 attack. I'm taking off zeros, because it's easier. Now, then you have a chalice. And with that chalice, you will gain 400 attack, and your opponent will lose 4 attack. For fuck's sake. Brain, it's your game. Come on, you make this.
Unplug from Yu-Gi-Oh real quick, Sean.
Yeah, sorry, I have to disconnect. These are, for those Yu-Gi-Oh heads out there, this is Forbidden Chalice, Forbidden Dress, and Forbidden Lance, but I'm changing the meanings of the cards. Sue me. Please don't, actually, but still. Anyway, so you have a chalice, a dress, and a lance, and I will remind you what they do if you ask.
Okay.
All right. So, are you ready to begin your way down into the dungeon?
I am ready to begin my adventure.
All right. So, Monster Mage Man, you see a big hole. It looks like a giant rock and just a big boulder. Like, you know the one Jesus allegedly walked out of? Picture that. But it's way deeper. And
you just phase through it.
What do you mean phase through it?
He's Jesus. He can do what he wants.
Well, oh yeah, he may be, but Jesus isn't involved in this. He ain't involved in this equation. I'm just using it as to equate the sense of thought in your mind. It's a big old rock, but you can see it's like into a mountain structure, but there's just a blue aura around it. So,
Okay.
you see this blue aura around it, and you walk up to it and touch it. And it says, it says you have to roll to proceed. So this is one where you choose a random draw. I'm going to roll these. You pick a number, and it will decide whether you get a creature to fight alongside you, a spell to cast in addition to the ones you have, or something bad happens.
Okay.
Oh, I lost the dice. This is going great. First roll, game mechanics broken. This is how we do it. This puts the super in Super Jam session.
Yes.
All right. Give me a number, sir.
Well, since we were just talking about Jesus, I'm going with 7.
It is exactly 7. Oh my god.
Bro!
Yeah, right off the bat. You literally go up and you literally walk up.
I'm a Christian.
You walk up to it and you just touch it, and it immediately dissolves. And you just shrug and just keep going into the dungeon, and
sick.
It all just dissolves.
I could melt rocks.
Yeah, so that was super easy. Now you don't get anything for that. You just go ahead through, because then you'd have to fight somebody. You just walked by this unhappy maiden that was going to pop up.
Okay.
So she was just, okay. As you're walking into the dungeon, you see a little sprite fairy sitting in the corner, and she's just looking at a basket of roses, really depressed. You turn to the left and just keep walking by, and she just sits there, not even acknowledging your presence.
Okay.
All right, well, that was easy. So then you keep walking into this dungeon. Right now, how are you feeling right now going into this dungeon?
The power of Christ is on my side.
Is he, though?
Yeah, bro, I just said I'm rolling a 7 because Jesus, and you're like, it is exactly a 7, so power of Christ and anime are on my side.
Well, and monster, apparently. You haven't even had to use your monster ability yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's right. Now, how are you feeling? What are you seeing as this dungeon is going along? I'm going to make you actually create this dungeon. You're the one in it. What are you seeing?
Well, it's kind of dark because I'm just making an entrance into it. And now, like, as I'm getting deeper in there are some lights. And it straight up looks like, in the Two Towers when Sauron is...
Saruman!
Saruman! Sorry, man.
Oh.
Yeah, in the Two Towers when Sorry Man is...
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I immediately thought of that scene that was cut from Lord of the Rings after Isengard is taken, and they're at the foot of the gate, and that's when he finds the orb. And there's this conversation that they cut up between him and Theoden, and it would have been really funny if Christopher Lee was like, "Yo, Theoden, I'm sorry, man. I was just trying to get the rings. It's like, what's I'm an old man. Like, I'm just a wizard, bro. Why don't you just leave me up here? I'm just gonna go retire."
Oh, his tail dies.
Oh, sorry, yeah, sorry, man. I like that.
Sorry, man.
Yes, that's where Sorry Man is. Yeah. So
if we have a villain in here that I get to name, we have to name him Sorry Man.
Yeah. Well, just as you're walking into and you see these torches, right? Mm-hmm. And these torches have skulls on them, but the skulls have hats, and that's what's on fire.
Okay.
The hats are on fire. Now, what are you going to do? Will you are you going to touch the hat? Are you going to B, just try to walk by it? Or C, are you going to equip your dress, your lance, or your chalice? Which you can only use once, by the way.
Can I choose D, wear the hat?
You can try to take the hat off. We'll roll for it. Okay. And we'll roll for it. You have to guess again for a roll. If you could take off the hat, then yeah, if you could get it exactly, you can take off the hat.
All right.
What do you got?
10.
All right, it's 6. All right, so that's a miss. So you go to get the hat, but you trip on a rock.
Do I dissolve this one?
And no, this rock does not dissolve. Unfortunately for you, it does not dissolve. Instead, it starts moving.
Oh no.
The little pebble starts moving, and you're not able to get to the hat.
Then when those rocks were moving, and it was a crab.
You're not able to get to the hat because instead that rock continues to move and it starts to glow. And the rock starts to glow, and it's getting brighter and brighter and brighter, and you're not really sure what to make of it. And as soon as I find where the fuck I put the card, I'm going to tell you what it turns into as soon as I find it. That's not it. You're not Ron. None of you are Ron. Who the hell are you people? These are not the people I'm looking for. Are you the people I'm looking for? Oh, I think you are. I think you are. You're not. Fuck. All right.
Happy New Year, every Ron.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Ron, for your service. I don't know where the fuck he went. Well, in any case, it turns into a big old lava rock. And it's a rock that is basically just warm, and it's glowing, and it's kind of soothing, but you can tell it has got a frowny face on it. It's got a frowny face on it, and it's not looking happy, and it looks like it wants to engage you in combat.
Oh, no.
So, right now, here are your choices. You can summon and fight it, you can outsmart it, or you can go for a random draw.
Okay, since this is the beginning, I want to establish that my character, Monster Mage Man, is intelligent, so I'm going to try to outsmart it.
Okay, so that means we're going into the trivia here, and I have a thank you to Brightful.me. What the fuck is this website? I didn't look at this. Goddamn. I'm sad I even referenced it. Goddamn, I don't want to start my trial. No, thanks, I'm good. I'd like to stay out of court. But thanks to this horse Hannigan, I don't know how easy these questions are going to be.
This horse Heineken.
All right. Here we go. Here's what we're going to do. This is a multiple choice question. And because this is the first time we're doing the trivia, you will get 2 times over the course of this whole thing where you will be able to basically take a hit, and I will eliminate one of the choices.
Okay.
It's 3 choice questions.
Can I phone a friend?
No. I'm the friend. So, all right. Let's do this in honor of our other enterprises. What was the soft drink Pepsi originally introduced as? Your options are Pepsoni, Repsy, or Brad's Drink.
Can I have a choice eliminated?
You're going to use one of the 2 you have now, which I'll probably just give you unlimited of based on the time it takes for us to get through the dungeon?
Yes.
All right, it is not Repsy. I made that up, as you know, in one of the commentaries we did for CIW.
Mm-hmm.
So your choices are Pepsoni and Brad's Drink.
I'm going to go with Pepsoni.
Is that your final decision?
Yes, that is my final answer.
The correct answer is Brad's Drink.
I knew it! I feel like if I was going to say Brad's Drink, it would have been Pepsoni.
Pepsoni, yeah, no. Pepsoni is also something I made up right out of my ass. Thanks, Brad. It was one of those brightful ideas I got, you know, and it's So in that case, you tried to outsmart, it didn't quite work out. So you see this glowing rock, and instead of attacking you, the glowing rock, actually, let me roll for that first. Okay. The glowing rock decides it's not going to attack. Instead, you feel the ground rumble. And from behind, those 2 glowing hats that were torches suddenly transform into clowns. Still wearing the hats, and the hats are still on fire, but they now have, basically, they were in disguise the whole time. They were camouflaged, and they've now hopped behind you.
You know how much I love flaming clowns.
That's right. So, you've got 2 fire clowns behind you, and you've got this dissolve rock in front of you, and now you are trapped here at this particular moment. You can either summon and fight, you can try to outsmart everyone in the situation, try another trivia question, or you can do a random draw.
I'm going to go with the random draw.
All right. All right, here we go. All right, it is it is a 3, which means that, which is not very good in a roll of 3 to 12. So, it actually ended up being good for you. So the card I drew for you, Yu-Gi-Oh! Heads up there, is Sakuretsu Armor. So what that is you find that these clowns that look ready to attack, you are prepared for them. You just so happen to stumble upon an armor set that will basically repel their attacks and kill them if they try to attack you.
Sick.
So you've been...
I don't want to kill the clowns. They're cool and they're on fire.
You've been protected. Well, we're going to find out whether these clowns in the rock are going to attack. So just so you know what I'm rolling for, if the rock... not that rock, but if the rock... if the rock attacks... he will actually, if any of them attack, they will basically, you will get a chance to roll to summon a creature.
Okay.
But if you roll, but depending on how good or bad you do is what kind of creature comes out. But if he rolls a 1 to 3, he's going to attack. If he rolls like a 4 through a 6, he's going to miss. He's not that good. He's just a rock that's lava with a frowny face. He's not that powerful.
You're a rock with lava with a frowny face. What do you know?
All right, so it's a 6. So the rock kind of glows and he throws a lava ball, but the lava ball just doesn't go very far because it just gets caught like cascading down. It's almost like he just erupted and just another piece of magma just fell slowly down and like rolled to your feet.
When he did that, did he scream Krakatoa?
No. Still, he did not get the chance to. Now, one of the clowns is getting ready to attack. Actually, it's your turn. You get to choose. Do you want to fight in this situation? Do you want to try to outsmart the clowns as the rock is now just embarrassed? Or
doing this flaccid ass attack?
Yeah, that just the complete whiff. Or do you want to try a random draw again?
I'm going to go with the attack. That's the one I haven't done yet.
All right, so I'm going to roll the 2. Give me a... here we go. What is your choice?
8.
Okay, it was a 7. So that's a pretty good roll. Now, you are a water mage, so because you are 1 away, you pull out and you take out your big watery rod and you summon out a fish that is a rainbow of colors.
A rainbow?
A rainbow of colors. A rainbow
monster fish.
It is a rainbow monster fish, and this fish has got a huge set of teeth. Big set of teeth. And that teeth is ready to gnash anyone who doesn't agree with its beliefs. And these clowns
sounds like real life.
Now these clowns have 15 health. And this fish has got 18. So now you can choose which clown you want it to attack.
Well, before that, can its teeth just be crushed up sharp monster cans?
Sure, it's your monster. Literally, it's your creature, it's your monster. You do what you want with it.
Sick the closest clown.
All right,
sick
so
him, boy.
The clown, the fish just goes dashing through the air in a one-horse open neigh, just like Aubrey Edwards in AEWA. And I don't know what I'm saying anymore. And this clown is literally sitting there, and you can see the fish just eat the hat and the head and just chop it clean off. And the rest of the body just falls to its side. And the other clown looks at this and is a little bit nervous. So this clown and the rock has now regained its composure. But now this other clown is now not nearly as excited to, reach in for attack. So if it rolls, I'm going to roll again. If it's 1 through 3, it's going to try and attack you, and you have to roll to see if your fish can block it, or it's going to just run. Okay. If it hits 4 through 6. Okay. It is a 3, so it's going to try and still attack you, and it regains its invisibility. But your rainbow-colored fish has got a lot of backing behind it. It's got a lot of corporations depending on it, and it can't handle people.
It's not quite June, though.
You know how mad they get when people say that they can't see things. Especially when it comes to rainbow colors. That's just ignorance. So this fish, you're going to have to roll for it, so I need a number, sir.
5.
All right, it was a 10.
Oh.
So this clown actually is able to extinguish its hat ever so briefly and ducks right as your fish goes to hit it, and actually uppercuts the fish in its little fishy dick. And
that's a hate crime.
That's right. And the fish goes down, and it had 8 health, it's now down to 2 health.
Ooh.
So it's not
fish.
It's not dead. It's not dead, but it's definitely catering to its tail. It's not looking too good. So
there's one thing a fish always keeps. It's pride.
That's right. That's right. Oh man. My God. Oh yes, sir. God. This is amazing. So
that was great.
So now here's your situation. You have enough right now where you can outsmart this remaining clown. The rock is still recovering, or you could random draw. Or you could fight. You could fight with the fish. You could attack with the fish, or you could outsmart the clown or the rock. I guess if you choose to, you have to choose which one you want, or you could do another random draw.
All right, I'm gonna fight this fucking clown.
All right, you're gonna fight the clown. I need a number, sir.
4.
All right, it was a 5. So this time the clown tries to extinguish its hat, but the fish understands what's happening here. So when it goes down, the fish also goes down and just chomps the whole top half of this thing's body, and you can just see the legs slowly reappear with blood gushing out of both of them as this fish is torn it apart. Now it's the rock's turn.
Oh no.
And now, here's the thing. If the rock is now ready to try another attack. If it gets 1 through 3, it's going to attack. If it gets 4 and 5, it's going to botch again. If it hits 6, it's going to kill this fish.
Okay.
All right? And so, here we go. And it is a 2, so it's going to attack. So now you need to roll again, or we're going to do another call. And you got to tell me, between 2 and 12, what is your number, sir?
6.
All right, it was a 9. So that is still within 4. So the creature is going to basically, the fish is going to see it, and he's going to turn, and his tail that's already injured is going to kind of hit the rock, and the rock's just going to kind of like lean over to the side because it's made of lava and just kind of come back to place. But the fireball doesn't really land that it tries to hit. It kind of just sits to the side. So nothing really happens.
I'm imagining a Pokemon screen right now and just a little shake from the fish animation and then the text. It was not super effective.
Yeah, it just kind of like it's kind of a stalemate there. Now, it is your turn. You can now choose once again. And now keep in mind, you do have the armor. Now, if it goes to attack and it goes through, you can still use the armor.
Okay.
So you still have the armor, the chalice, the lance, and the dress. I can remind you what they all do.
Okay.
And so you have the fight option, you have the outsmart option, or you can random draw.
I'm going to once again fight.
Okay. So, what's your number?
AEW fight forever.
What's your number?
8.
All right, it's a 6.
Not bad.
So that's close enough where the fish actually goes to the rock and it just kind of sits there and he bites the top of it. And because it's water, the fish kind of just spurts water out of its teeth and just extinguishes the whole rock, and then it just turns into a bunch of rubble, and that's the end of it. And
yay, we did it!
And your fish high fives you and gives you a concussion, and then disappears. And so your summon is successful, and now you can move further on into the dungeon. Congratulations, sir.
Yeah, me and my fish friend.
All right, so next up, you're going through this dungeon, and you're seeing now a
Can
bright...
I name the fish? Can I name the fish?
You can. He's gone now, though.
I'm naming the fish Bruce.
Okay. Good job, Bruce.
Imagine why.
High five. And now you're going through this dungeon, and you see a bright light, and it looks like what's in a hallway. Tell me what's in the hallway.
In the hallway, there's more torches, not any skulls or hats or anything. There are a few dead bodies on the ground that are like rotting, and I'm just like, ew, that's gross. I wish my fish friend could come back out and clean this up a little bit, clear a path. And it's just like a creepy hallway.
And now you see the bodies there, and you see the bodies, but right past the bodies looks like a long table. It's hard to see because it looks like it's made of glass.
Okay.
And that table, at the end of it, has a praying lady at the end. Doesn't seem too sinister, but she is in a dungeon of spellcasters and tricksters and wizards. You just fought two clowns with fire hats and a flaming rock that petered out.
Yeah.
And you could see that there is a path through these bodies that isn't going to end up with pain. Your options are, you can equip one of your items, you can walk through the bodies to try and talk to this woman, or you could random draw and see what happens.
Random draw and let's see what happens.
All right, I need a number, sir.
2.
All right, it was a 5. Okay. So, it is a 5. So, when you're walking through the bodies and you're tiptoeing around, and you're seeing, okay, I've watched movies, I've seen Lord of the Rings, there's a good chance if I make a lot of noise, these guys are going to pop up.
My favorite character is Sorry Man.
Yeah, they're going to fuck me up if I get through. You're tiptoeing, you're being real careful, right? Real careful, and all of a sudden, the bodies all start to glow.
And not again.
And they glow a bright red, and all of a sudden they all catch on fire all at once. And all you see is a spiky blue-haired child. And he's wearing a tank top. But he's jacked. This is a jacked child, like maybe 14 years old.
This is a jacked child.
I'm serious. This dude works out. This is like redshirt freshman in high school, instant varsity on the football team kind of build. And he's just sitting there big and brutish, but he looks like he's in pain. He's got spiky blue hair, and all of these bodies just disappear in a cloud of flames.
Okay.
And so you now are encountering this man, and this man looks, or child, I should say, this child comes up to you, and it looks like he wants to fight. So, your options are summon and fight, outsmart, or random draw.
What is his name?
I will, let's see. His name is Robert Paulson.
Okay.
His name is Robert. Did you hear me? His name is Robert Paulson.
Yes, I heard.
His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. Continue.
Wait, what was his name one more time? I'm just kidding. Alright, so I'm gonna try to outsmart again.
Okay. So we got a trivia question here. Let's see. Well, that's stupid easy. Even a South Carolina man like yourself could easily get that one.
I don't know, man.
So that's related to my field of work. That's funny. Okay. Let's do that one. If you planted the seeds of a quercus, what tree would you be talking about? Is it an oak? Is it a maple? Or is it a birch?
I'm going to say it's going to be a dark American.
That is not one of the three choices, sir. Even though that is a plant, and I told you that in confidence, I will not sustain such debauchery on my program.
This is our program, good sir.
Yes. Objection. Communism.
I am totally okay with all of the debauchery. But, what were the options again?
Your options were oak, maple, or birch. Quercus is the name.
I'm going to go with birch.
Is that your final decision?
Yes.
Well, I need you to roll then for me, sir, and I need you to pick a number.
7.
All right, it's a 6. Okay. So you got lucky. You got super lucky. The answer was oak, by the way.
Oh, that was the one I was least expecting.
Quercus. Quercus. Or quercus is an oak tree. Just for your information, betula, B-E-T-U-L-A, is birch, and acer, A-C-E-R, is maple.
The first time I've ever even heard of birchwood was that one time I played Minecraft.
That's right.
I don't go outside a lot.
And let us never speak of it again. And so, but you got super lucky because this dude was going to torch the shit out of you. But you had armor.
Yes.
And when this thing came in and attacked you with that fire, you just flexed that armor just a little bit, and little platelets came out of your skin like Wolverine, but you looked like Baraka almost. And it just turned into this just enough of a shield where the fireball reflected against and hit the flame manipulator right in his blue head, which turned out he didn't really keep it very nicely maintained. It turns out that was gasoline. And he himself was weak to fire, even though he could conjure fire. So now he's pissed because his head is on fire. And now you have the choice. And meanwhile, this lady of faith is on the other end of the table, and she has not moved. She's just watching this.
She's still praying.
She's watching this unfold. And so now you have a decision to make. Because you got lucky on the defense, but it did use up your Sakuretsu armor.
She's like, Monster Mage Man, I sense the power of Christ within you.
So here's the decision you can make. Here are your choices. You can try to do something with either the Lady of Faith or the Flame Manipulator. Either attack, you can outsmart, or you can random draw.
I'm going to attack the fireman because he attacked me first, damn it.
All right. So,
I don't start fights, I try to outsmart them.
We need to first summon a new creature. So, I need a number for your new creature.
9.
All right, it was an 8. So that's another very good draw. And so this Flame Manipulator, by the way, this guy on fire, he has 10 health and 9 attack. You just so happen to call upon, because you are doing you're water. You're not the right group. You're not wrong. You're a lie. You summon a reptile warrior.
Ooh,
and not just any reptile warrior. He is reptile warrior who has got he's Vector. He's Vector. Yeah.
He's Vector, yes.
No, he's got a very long tail. Yeah, you know what? Fine. All right, he's Vector. You summoned Vector. Hey, Joshua, it's Vector here.
Where's the computer room?
This guy just talks anyway. So now, you would like to attack this manipulator? We need you to roll now again to attack.
Okay.
Give me a number.
5.
So, this reptile warrior, all of a sudden, splits out of his head an acid ball. And this acid ball has got to easily be the size of a basketball. And he basically takes this thing with his hand and just slam dunks it on the flame manipulator, on this kid. And this 14-year-old, just this whole acid ball just dissolves in this big curtain. And this curtain of acid comes down, and this reptile just smashes it into the ground. And this kid is never seen from again. No evidence, no bones, no nothing, just acid dissolved. It was exactly 5.
Wow. I'm glad that me and Vector could murder this child.
And this
something I didn't know I was going to say today.
Yeah, this is, hey, adventure. Now, this lady of faith is stunned. This lady of faith is absolutely stunned, and she does not want anything to do with this. So she is now, she sees this on the glass table. The glass table that she has been sitting at all of a sudden just turns into a bright veil of light and disappears. And she stands up. But she's still got her hands in like a prayer position. You know? But she's now looking up and looking directly at you. And you can tell, even though this is like a good 100 meters away, you immediately lock eyes with her. And she now, you cannot tell exactly what she's planning on doing. But she's now making a move to basically almost Mexican standoff square off with you. So your options are, you can outsmart, you can try once again to dissolve this lady with your reptile warrior, or you can random draw.
I'm gonna try to dissolve this woman with my reptile.
Oh man, you're just ruthless, man.
Yeah.
You are just
Vector
ruthless.
Don't take shit from nobody.
Alright, well, you're gonna go attack this. Alright, so here we go. I need a number.
7.
Alright, it's a 6. You're doing good just getting like some average numbers in here.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna throw some curveballs at you here a little bit later. But it is you said 7, right?
Yeah.
It's a 6. So you once again get this acid ball, and this time you huck it at this lady who is continuing to pray, and the second that she sees your acid ball, she literally turns her head down, like, because she's got this big helmet, right? Like, as part of her sagedom, and she tries to deflect it with her helmet, which apparently was some sort of acid resistance. Did not matter. This woman screams out in pain as this acid ball slowly dissolves her and ends up melting her. And so all your reptile warrior is pretty happy, didn't get hurt. He said, you got some good rolls here. And,
you just murdered 2 people.
You high-five your reptile, and now you can move further into this dungeon. You're one step closer. Well, I didn't think you just wiping out everyone in sight was going to be how this went, but so far...
Just straight up murdering people.
So far, you're crushing it. Well, but here's how weird things get interesting. Because you see, after you dissolve this woman, there's an orb. A bright yellow white orb that then goes further into the dungeon, and you'd think that for a dungeon that was dark and ominous to begin with, there wouldn't be so much light, but now the decor is getting a little bit nicer. Now instead of torches, there's candelabras. Now there's cobblestones, which is kind of annoying. Why would you put cobblestones in the middle of a dungeon? But still.
I know, right? She deserved to die.
But they put cobblestones in, but it's smoothed out cobblestones, so it's got a rustic feel to it. But there's some sort of unease with this rustic feel. You could see some shops. It looks like, almost like a knockoff of Harry Potter and Diagonally. And you can see some shops and some books and some staves on sale, and looks like capitalism has reached even the pits of dark magicians.
Hell yeah.
And it's then that you encounter 2 women who are just exiting a store, and they're coming down, and they see you, and they see all your mageliness, and even though they may...
Last time I ran into a woman, it worked out oh so well.
And even though they may want to climb all over you, they don't seem like they're letting you pass in the alley that looks like that's going to continue, where things are looking even nicer. Now, describe to me, if you will, both of these women are wearing headgear. Tell me what they're wearing.
Well, one is just straight up wearing like a Lady Gaga meat dress, and it's just kind of weird. The other one's actually wearing something a little classy, a little nice, like, she just got out of Sunday school. So we got a meat dress lady and a Sunday school lady. You wouldn't think they would be friends, but they're the best of friends.
Well, they might be. They might be. So now, you see these two women, they're blocking your path, but this is kind of a crowded area. If you decide to attack here in this particular position, or summon something, it's going to cause a ruckus. Might cause for some more disturbances that may not necessarily be warranted or wanted, and maybe could cause a little bit more attraction to your situation. You don't want to do that. You want to go after the head of the table. But unlike Cody, you might win. Too soon?
Oh, still salty about that one.
Me too, bud. Me too.
Oh, man.
So, you can summon and fight, but in this case, if you do decide to do that, you're going to have to call between 2 and 18 this time.
I'm not going to fight. I'm going to try to outsmart.
You're going to try to outsmart him. Which one are you going to try to outsmart?
Meat dress lady.
All right, meat dress. All right, let's get a trivia question appropriate for a meat dress. Okay. Wow, that's stupid easy. That's also stupid easy. Wait, hold on, I gotta read you one. This isn't part of the question, but this is one of the trivia questions that this bright company has put in. True or false? The U.S. emergency hotline is 911 because of the September 11th terrorist attacks. That is literally a question. Could you imagine somebody believing that?
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't even know, man.
All right, let's all right, now here's what we're going to do here. That's easy. That's too easy. That's too easy. Okay. I've got a trivia question here for you.
All right.
Who was the commentator in 1984 for Mid-Atlantic Wrestling? Is it Jim Ross? Is it Bob Caudle? Or is it Bill Watts?
Coddle me.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
It is, in fact, Bob Caudle.
Yes. I feel like that was the deep dive episode you and Skylar did on the Core Martial Podcast.
It's actually not. We did one on Mid-South, which was in Louisiana and Oklahoma, which was Bill Watts' territory. Bob Caudle, now Gordon Soley was a big part of Mid-Atlantic and the Carolinas back in the day. I didn't mean to get this all into the wrestling, but that's where Gordon Soley was. But in 1984, which I was just watching a couple episodes on Peacock recently, and it was Bob Caudle on it. The problem is he just cannot convey the relationship. He's like the Alex Marvez of his time, only better.
Sean, I have a question.
Yes.
Who is Alex Marvez?
He's the really awkward guy on AEW that they get to do interviews when Renee isn't politicking her way into more TV time.
You mean when Renee isn't backstage, having weird barbed wire sex with John Moxley?
Everybody loves to bleed. And speaking of, so you were successful in outsmarting the meat lady. So what you do is you try something that you normally would not do. You conjure up a head of lettuce. And you go to this meat lady and go, the power of vegetables. Go vegan. My memes back up my argument. And the more attraction you make yelling about vegetables, the more wizards just start running away from your location. And they're like, oh no, I want nothing to do with this. And
it's not another vegan!
So they're afraid. All of a sudden, all these other wizards are just scurrying deeper into the dungeon. And this elf is just paralyzed with fear. She doesn't know what to do. She's never been confronted about this meat dress before, ever. So this other elf... So this other elf is seeing this, right? This other elf is seeing this and decides that she wants to cast a spell to, now that there's nobody else in this equation, she's a little annoyed, right? She's annoyed that this took place. So...
And I guarantee you that there's somewhere else where people wear vegetable dresses and they're just racist against meat people. This is why they're afraid.
It's definitely possible.
Again, almost like real life.
So, this other elf decides there's something to do, and all of a sudden, she starts to take a book out, because she was just in a bookstore, and she's reading this book, and she starts to murmur sweet nothings.
It's a Rex from Springs Free. Holy cow.
And all of a sudden, you can feel your knees weaken. And you're... And your knees are starting to slowly bend down, and as they're going down, you now have the option. Do you now fight? Do you try to outsmart the other elf, the nice, kindly elf that's bending your knees down, or do you do a random draw?
I want to see where this goes. Random draw.
All right. Random draw.
Scared.
Hold on, I forgot which pile is which. Okay. Okay, so, as your knees are going down, as your knees go down, you conjure up a horn on your head. And it's a big old horn. You look like a big old unicorn. It's literally like Kofi Kingston unicorn horn. And you go to sing on your head, and all of a sudden, this elf is grossed the fuck out. And... she doesn't let go of the spell, but all of a sudden your power increases significantly. And all of a sudden...
She weakened my knees, and now I'm really horny, so of course, I'm just into overdrive right now.
Well, you stand up, and you're not happy. And because now you're more powerful, at least your magic is now stopping the original knees bending from happening. So, the elf then turns that magic on herself, and you see her develop like a little kind of teardrop shell. Meanwhile, Meat Elf is now recovered from her fear of veganism and is mad. So now, I need you to roll for me, sir, because she is now on the attack. And I need you to choose, and I am going to expand it. So now it's 3 and 6 and then 9 and then... all of that as far as how close you get, because we're doing 3 die this time because you're that far into the dungeon. So I need a number between 3 and 18.
11.
All right, it was a 10.
Ooh!
So Meat Lady takes all of the slices of prosciutto that are made up of her dress. And she actually molds it with the power of meat into a giant club. And this club has axe blades on either side, so it's like a meat axe. And she goes to swing this meat axe at you, but she doesn't realize all those slices of meat together are actually pretty damn heavy. And so she goes to swing it, and she can't actually follow through, and she falls backwards.
Oh.
So now, and she loses 4 health. So she had 12, she now has 8. The elf that is now encapsulated has 20 health with this shield. So, your options once again: summon and fight, outsmart, random draw. You still have a horn, by the way.
Can I use my horn?
That wouldn't be involved in attacking.
Random draw again.
Alright, you're gonna random draw, okay. Alright. So your staff glows, and you're feeling pretty good about it. And your staff begins to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden, it ports out a dinosaur, like a troglodyte dinosaur that is got even bigger jaws than your fish did.
Oh no.
And that big dinosaur that is soaring through not ocean, but it's still like got ocean mechanics, kind of like in Final Fantasy X. All of a sudden that horn is no longer on you. It has grown that unicorn horn on that giant dinosaur.
Wow.
So now This monster, you now have the option. Would you like to attack with this thing? Either one of them. The elf, one is still knocked down because she hasn't let go of this big meat axe. And the other one is just like shelled up. Your attack, by the way, is 20, so you can, if your attack goes through, beat either of these two if you get it.
Well, first, I'm naming my dinosaur friend Dennis for no reason.
It's Denis, he's French.
Denis, he's French. I'm going to attack with Denis.
All right. Would you like to attack Meat Elf, or Afraid of Veganism Elf, or Afraid of Everything Elf?
I'm going to go with the meat girl elf, because she is in a bad way right now. I'm going to take advantage.
All right. 2 dice this time, so between 2 and 12, give me a number.
I'm going to go all the way here. 12.
All right, it was 9.
Okay.
So, your big dinosaur goes over and it tries to latch on, but it's used to water, you know? It's not used to being, like, in the air when it goes to attack. So it just swoops and just misses, like, doesn't go low enough to hit the elf and just kind of soars above it and has to circle back around, embarrassed. But this elf is now back up. He's dropped the wallet, dropped the meat axe, and now is casting a random draw herself to see here. And what she has gotten is she has actually rolled a removal. She has gotten something. She takes that axe, and instead she takes all the prosciutto and she takes the individual slices and she starts wrapping it around this dinosaur's horn. And wrapping it around the horn, and all of a sudden, that horn starts to breathe and starts to pulse, and that's the pulse, and then just shrivels up and detaches from your monster.
Aww.
So your horn is no more.
Damn it.
Now the other elf takes her shell down. And now because your monster loses its horn, and because it's not used to it, she can punch this thing in the stomach or in the dick. You know, it's got a glowing spot. If she hits it just right, she could kill this thing.
Oh no, Denise!
So I need you with a 2 dice roll to give me a number.
8.
So this elf lines up for this thing, but your dinosaurs figured this out. Okay, let's be real. This is not going to be a mistake it makes twice. So this elf unveils herself from her little safe space liberal egg that cracked. Because that's a cute joke that people like to use to peer pressure people into doing things they wouldn't normally. Anyway, wow, we're getting canceled. So
yeah,
this egg cracks, and it is light blue and pink. And I'm sorry, I can't help myself. And she takes this and she lifts up this like crown hat that she was wearing, the classy hat that she had, and she's gonna throw it up at the soft spot of this thing. But like I said, your dinosaur's not stupid. And it immediately swoops down and just stops right before its teeth are gonna hit the ground and chomps this thing whole. No more elf. It was exactly an 8.
Oh yeah.
So that elf went to attack and got 8. Damn, nature, you scary.
I've killed so many women in this already.
Yes, it's just been, well, now this other elf sees what's going on, but that was its attack.
I'm not a world beater, I'm a wife beater.
That's right, well, you're a wife eater at this point, because that's what happened here. But your job's not done. Here's another elf you can eat. It is your turn now. That was the other elf's turn. You still have this meat elf.
Real quick. Skylar messaged me about the tentacle question. He said 0, that shit is gross.
That's a lie. He's not going to tell us over Facebook. He doesn't want Zuck knowing. Let's be real.
I'm messaging him right now. Sean said that's a lie, and you know it.
Hey, listen. It is not my office to police your orifices, Skylar. You have fun in Japan.
Yeah, take me down the street to the police orifice.
So, now you have a choice here. you can fight this elf, or you can try to outsmart this elf. Because let's keep it real, your dinosaur is gonna beat this thing. You're like it's gonna knock it out unless this elf somehow finds a way to hit your weak spot. But you're a lot smarter now. You've got way more attack. You can easily beat it. But this elf doesn't seem like it wants to fight anymore. It drops the meat while it drops all the meat. It takes a look at the vegetable and just kicks it aside. It's not ready for that yet. But she's dropped her meat. She's dropping a prosciutto. So now, you can just show no mercy to this elf and just destroy it. You could potentially talk it. If you get this trivia question, I'll sweeten the deal here. If you win this trivia question, this elf will fight alongside you in your next battle.
Ooh, that one. I'm going with that one.
Or you could random draw. Okay, so you're going to go with that. You're going to see if you can get this one here. All right.
Yes.
So, let's... That's so silly.
I'm concerned.
All right, no, I'm not doing that. Okay. This one could be a layup.
All right.
But let's see what happens here. What geometric shape is generally used for stop signs? Hexagon, octagon, decagon.
The same one they used for UFC, the octagon.
That's your final decision.
Yes.
Well, all of you do is all of a sudden this what'd you name this thing? Dennis?
Yeah.
All of a sudden Dennis gets some BDE about him. And now he flips up and he willingly shows this elf his soft spot.
Make my soft spot hard, please.
And this elf, she won't lie. She's impressed. She's genuinely impressed. Now, let's be real. This is not to the point of like being mesmerized by this thing. I mean, there are parameters. We got rules in place. You know, this is going to be respectful, right, for all people. But you say, hey, lady, well, if you want a little, the name of this card that I'm using, by the way, in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Megalo Smasher. So, you say, hey, listen, maybe if you fight for us, maybe, you and he can, get to know each other and you can get Megalo Smashed. What do you say?
You can get it on with my dinosaur whenever you want.
And this elf, she's not totally sold on it, but she goes, let's just see what the next level has to bring and we'll go from there. So you do, in fact, get this elf to fight alongside you, but your Megalo Smasher is going back into your list of people that you can whip out. But your elf is joining you for the next round. But
her name is Lady Gaga.
All right, so Lady Gaga comes in, and you're actually doing pretty well going through this. But it gets nicer, and now we're really looking opulent. This is really decadent. There's gold all over the place. I mean, the railings are gold. There's paintings of famous chefs. There's all sorts of great things. There's just, you can see people, handing out hors d'oeuvres, but you're not allowed to eat any because they disappear too fast before you can get anything, but you can see the fucking pizza bagels. Anyway, as you walk forward, you try to stop a maitre...
your pants, Sean.
No, you try to stop a maitre d' and go, hey, can I have one of those weenies? And when you say this, all of a sudden this maitre d' stops. And all of them stop. And all the maitre d's turn around and they all just look to face you and this elf. And they're not looking happy anymore. Their mustaches be a-twitching.
I just wanted a weenie. What's the problem?
And their tuxedos begin to form and mold, and all of a sudden, all the lights go out. And all you can see is just stars. Underneath you, the floor is stars. but it's now turning into a red vortex of stars. And from the rafters, you could see on the actually up top above you, there's a puppet, a faceless puppet, but he's got two heads on either shoulder, one of girls and one of boys. And you could tell that this is an illusionist of some description.
Okay.
This illusionist now, she's a good, 100 feet away, is this puppet creature. So you have an option here. There's a good distance between you and her, but you don't really know what the ground is like. Because all you can see are these red stars, but you know you could probably get to them, but you're not sure what to do. You could summon and try to fight something from that distance. That wouldn't be very easy, because you'd have to basically nail it to get a creature that's going to be able to get that far away. I mean, the Megalo Smasher can only go small distances. You would need something that could launch balls at it. Or you could try to talk to this thing, try to outsmart it, maybe you could use your elf. And your elf might be able to. You could attack with your elf. You could see what she is. You already have something on the field. The health of this mage, you could tell, is 22. Your elf has 14 attack. But you're a good distance. Your elf is covered in meat. What are your options? What should you do?
I'm going to try to outsmart.
Okay, we've got another trivia question here.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do this one. If you are looking up on YouTube the history of Jaromir Jagr, what sport are you researching? Are you researching baseball? Are you researching hockey? Or are you researching cricket?
I'm not sure which sport Aaron Yeager plays.
That's Jaromir, sir, you ignorant slut, as Skylar would say at this moment. That was a major hint. What I just told you was a major hint.
I'm not a sports person.
You're not.
And you know this is my weakness, Sean, and I don't appreciate it.
But I just told you Skylar would call you an ignorant slut based on not knowing this man's name. That is a hint.
Okay.
A major hint.
Hockey?
Final answer?
Yes.
So you yell out, "Hey, Caprana, why are you crying?" And the female head turns around and looks and goes and says out loud, "That's a white guy. You're not George Lopez."
But that's what he sounds like.
But now this elf that is next to you is feeling empowered by that very strange sentiment that you made. And so she pulls out an amulet. And that amulet is in a octagonal shape, as it turns out. And the second that elf puts it around her neck, it opens, and it's an eye. So she has equipped an eye amulet, and it has doubled her attack.
Ooh.
And
so she's going from 14 to 28.
Correct. So now she's feeling really good. She can now make longer distance attacks.
And I can do that.
But this mage is interested in doing something else instead. This mage, with the right hand, the boy face on the other shoulder, you see it start to spin. And all of a sudden it opens its mouth and a tiny little shadow ball shows up, and it goes down about halfway between the distance between you and this mage. And I can only describe this, let's see, what's a good comparison? What game have you played? What games do you like? Do you like anything? So this creature, it has no eyes, but he's got a lot of. See, it looks like almost like a giant fiendly bug, but it's like very ripped. And it's a big. The card I'm using, folks, is King of Yami Makai. So obviously, you know what that looks like, JoshAgeddon.
Yeah, obviously.
But it's a warrior with a big spiked belt, and it's got shadows all on either side of it. It almost looks like anti-Saiyan with the shadows around it. It has no eyes, but a big set of teeth and these long, sharp claws. And now that is standing in between you and this mage. But what you've done in doing this is now this elf is ready to go after him. Now, here's the interesting thing. You've entered a different part here, so you can actually summon another creature, or you can fight, or you can try to outsmart this fiend creature that's shown up, or you can outsmart the mage, or you can just random draw and see what the hell happens.
I'm going to go random draw.
All right. So, let's see here. It is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, here's what. So, in this situation, you have actually encountered a set of dice right next to your ankle. And so, what has encountered this is now you have to roll to see what happens here. You've actually encountered another reroll to see what happens. So now, I'm going to, once again, use 2 dice. If you call this exactly right, then you are going to get probably somebody very powerful on your side, and then you can continue to attack. If not, if this goes poorly, you may encounter something nefarious. Give me a number. 2 to 12, by the way.
11.
All right, it was 7. So, this mage, all of a sudden the female head starts to spin, and the male head starts to spin, and then the center head, which has no eyes and no nose, but just a mouth, just starts to go. And that vortex, all of a sudden the vortex opens up on the bottom of the floor, and the elf plummets down it.
No, Lady Gaga!
You have lost your elf.
Oh, not Lady Gaga.
And now this king of this fiend man wants to attack you. And now, because you don't have a monster here, if he attacks you and this goes through, you will have to say something nice about a person. You'll be down for the first time. You've made it an hour and 15 minutes without it first. So, are you ready, sir? Give me a number.
Ready. 4.
Okay, it is a 7. So thankfully, this thing comes to attack you. He goes to hit it with your claws, but this thing isn't very fast. He can't see. He's got no eyes. So he goes to claw you, and you go to, move out of the way, but you don't really have to because it just misses. It just goes to punch and just, hard left. So,
nice whip, jackass!
Yeah, you got a complete whiff from them, but now, the mage, you can see the heads are now starting to make a little bit of a beam that they may want to shoot at you.
Oh, no.
This has 12 attack. This is going to be the same thing, so now you have to stop it from this one. I need a number, sir.
6.
All right, it is a 4. So you actually do a pretty decent job here. As the beam goes to hit you, you actually are able to defend it. And now I need you to call another number. If you are close this time, you will get to summon a creature free of using your turn.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you got?
8.
All right, it is a 4. So you are able to dodge the laser, but then it still kind of forces you to trip. And you're still looking at this starry red vortex. You kind of get up and you're like, okay, dust yourself off. You're good. You're still okay. So now, You're still facing this mage, and you're still facing this warrior. And you still have not been able to summon anything yet, but now you can. But you can also try to outsmart this. That last time that empowered your elf, this time it could cause something else to happen. So,
yeah, it empowered my elf just for her to get sucked through the floor.
That was just a shame.
I'm gonna fight. I'm pissed off about I'm pissed off about Lady Gaga.
All right, so that means we need a summon here. So I need a number.
10.
All right, it was a 5. So, out comes your fish, but your fish is still hurt. Your fish still only has 2 health.
Bro, you didn't have those sensu beans that I had in my back pocket? What's wrong with you?
He's still here. He still wants to fight for justice, and he is a warrior of the social kind because he is a fish of rainbow variety. And he will fight the darkness. And you know, dark and red are really close together. So that must mean, you know, faceless mage? Yeah, you know where they have those? On Fox News. Yeah, of course your dark servant's blind to our issues. So your 7-colored fish is spitting out jargon. But he's hurt, but he still wants to fight. So you could still attack. You are still in range of fighting this warrior who has 15 defense here. So if your fish attacks this shadow warrior, it will kill it.
The shadow warrior called Sean Hannity.
Yes. Now, the faceless mage, Carlson, that is there, the man of 3 heads. Actually, that would be Rupert Murdoch, technically. But in any case, this mage is still too far away. He's kept his distance. So, your choices are now, you've got this fish, you can either attack, you can try to outsmart, even though you've got this thing on the field, or you can random draw.
Attack, since I already had the fish on the field.
Alright. So, I need a number, sir.
5.
Alright, it was a 10.
Oh, my fish is about to die.
So your 7-colored fish is about to hit this thing in the face when its tail all of a sudden comes off.
Oh.
And it was not expecting that. So he turned around 180 to go check on his tail and kind of doubled back into position. So nobody got hurt, but the fish's tail, which was not looking good, is now really not looking good. And now this shadow warrior wants to attack.
Damn.
All right, let's see how it goes. I need a number.
9.
All right, it's an 11. So this thing goes to attack, but your fish... This fish is tough, man. There's nothing to be said. This fish is tough. This shadow warrior goes to hit it with its claw and actually goes right to where the fish's tail would have been. And the fish, because it's able to limber up, actually bites this thing, and it's got like shoulder pad, like exoskeletons, and bites one of them and rips it off.
Ooh.
So your fish does get some damage in as well as dodging the attack. So the shadow warrior had 15 health. It's now down to 8.
Okay.
But the mage now is going to roll. If it goes 1 to 3, it's going to attack. If it's 4 or 5, it's going to heal the shadow. And if it's 6, it's going something really bad's going to happen. Okay. So here we go. It is a 1. So he's going to try and attack this fish. Going, I could probably beat this with this laser. Fire the laser. It has 12 attack, but that is enough to beat your 2 health if it goes through. I need a number between 2 and 12.
3.
So this laser gets really big. He's going for a kill here. The middle face, which only has a mouth, fires this laser. This fish somehow knows that it has got more than just a 6-3 advantage amongst the black robes. He knows that he can prosecute in the state of New York anytime he wants. He knows that everybody goes rainbow during the month of June. That's no dispute. And that means that he has confidence against this faceless mage who spews out rhetoric that is ignorant and so 1950s.
I know, right?
And we must eliminate these people from our society. And as such, this 7-colored fish feels like canceling this mage. He's not happy with it. So this mage goes...
on his finishing move, cancel culture.
This mage fires this laser. And all of a sudden, this fish glows twice as bright with those colors that we were seeing before. All the different colors that it had. All the different rainbows. And as such, it glows so much that it develops an aura that reflects the laser back and hits the Shadow Warrior. And it deflects and hits the Shadow Warrior. Now, this Shadow Warrior just lost its shoulder. Guess where that laser hit? Right into that shoulder, and the Shadow Warrior is destroyed. So,
been fired from Fox News.
So, you called a 3. It was exactly a 3.
Damn.
Which is great, because now you can walk a lot closer to this thing. And now you're in range where you can start attacking this mage. It has 22 health.
Sean Hannity.
And you have 18... You have 18 attack, it has 22 health, so if you do attack, you won't kill it. But you're now closer, and you have outsmarted this once before. Or you could choose a random draw.
I'm going to try to outsmart it again.
Alright. So, we're going to... Alright. Okay. This is let's see how well you know... I don't even know if this is true. Thanks, Brightful. All right. This is going to be an interesting one. In the state of Georgia, it's illegal to eat what with a fork?
I've heard this before.
Peaches, steak, fried chicken.
Eliminate a option.
It is not steak.
It's chicken.
Is that your final response?
I'm pretty sure.
It is in fact chicken. They do not hold peaches nearly as sacred as Bowser does. So
I've heard that before.
Yeah, so thankfully your trivia knowledge comes in handy because this fish glows and all of a sudden you see words etched in it. It says respect my pronouns.
I was about to say love is love.
Well, they respect the pronouns, and all of a sudden, you see both of these heads all of a sudden look down on either shoulder, feeling ashamed for themselves for their cisness. One is female, one is male, and the other one is faceless, and now they're both ashamed of themselves. How dare we be in the design of males and females when we have progressed so far as a species and as a society that we no longer need to have gendered puppets. Even though all we have are gendered puppets. This is turning way more into social commentary than I wanted it to.
I know. What is happening?
So these puppets are ashamed of themselves. And so, this puppet, I'm going to roll again for it. If it's 1 through 3, it's going to shamefully just commit seppuku. If it is a 4 or a 5, this mage is going to snap out of it and attack. And if it is a 6, something bad is going to happen.
Okay.
Alright. Regrettably, the two heads decide they don't want to be attached to such a filthy piece of garbage mage who is faceless, genderless, when these two male and females are so ashamed of themselves. So the faceless mage takes his hands and he pulls the male and female heads off and he smushes them together, and all of a sudden there's one head left with a flock of seagulls haircut and a nose ring and all of that, a weird small backpack, and And all of a sudden, this mage has just got a change in lifestyle and immediately goes to consult their doctor, and that clears the path for you and your 7-color your rainbow fish is somehow progressing you through this dungeon in the most literal sense.
This is so weird. This is so
Did you ever think you would be in this position to fight for your right?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
I also didn't think I would see Sean Hannity mage transform into a Kanye West mage.
Yeah, so
This would be a therapist.
hey, this dungeon is full of surprises, man. That's the thing. But here's the crazy part. We're now at the end of this dungeon. Because all of a sudden, this vortex clears up and you're back in the opulent mansion. But it's gotten a lot colder. The lights are a lot dimmer. And you know that you're heading and you're about to find this dark magician that is causing all of this mess. You see a door and there's an inscription on the door. What does it say?
Fuck off, bro.
So you read the sign. Well, how does it make you feel?
A little bit insulted. I mean, this is why I'm here, and clearly they don't want me in there.
Yeah.
And they assumed my pronouns.
Yeah.
That makes me upset.
And your rainbow fish is somehow carrying you through this.
I'm pissed. I'm going in there.
Yeah, so it's time to get. So
I'm hot.
now here's your choices.
It's cold and I'm hot.
Here are your choices. Do you want to try to kick in this door? Do you want to try and cast a spell once again to do this like you did in the beginning and just walk through the seal? Or do you want to actually read the inscription underneath the inscription? Because you can see there's like a little piece of paper underneath.
I want to read the inscription underneath.
Okay. I need you to choose a number between 1 and 6.
4.
All right. So the number I rolled was a 1. So you read it underneath, and all of a sudden you see just one thing, and it's a rage comic. And that rage comic is the troll face. And you fall into a gigantic pit.
Oh.
You couldn't avoid it forever, my friend. You are now stuck in a hole, and there's only one way to get out of a hole.
Oh.
You have to say something nice.
Have to be nice.
Genuine compliment about Ruby Soho. For those of you who don't know who that is, that is an AEW female wrestler with ear gauges, and she's kind of punk rock, I guess is the idea. I don't really see the potential in it. She's been around for a while. Her wrestling isn't that good. And JoshAgeddon has a particular hatred of her, particularly for her looks, but also for her wrestling. So you now need to say something nice about Ruby Soho, sir.
Back when she was Heidi Lovelace and she had longer hair and less tattoos, she actually was kind of pretty.
All right, that counts, I guess.
And then she fucked that up. But
yeah, hey! I said something nice.
I did. She was beautiful.
All right, okay, fine. All right, you've escaped out of this hole. So now your options are.
That is the most backhanded compliment I've ever given.
You pulled yourself out of this hole, but now you have another 2 options. Do you want to try and cast a spell through this door, or do you want to just try to barge in?
I'm pissed. I'm barging in.
All right, I need a number between 2 and 12.
7.
All right, it's a 9. So your first kick to the door, you're smart enough to recognize that you can't just kick the middle of the door. You have to kick near the knob so you can break the hinge.
Okay.
Thankfully, you were smart enough to do that, so this door flies open. And sitting on this throne is, of course, the major dark magician. And next to him is a skeleton and another one of those shadow creatures.
Mike Pence.
On either side of them. And maybe, I mean, the Skull Servant does have a Jeff Sessions-ish look to him. But, in any case, you see these three, and all of a sudden the Dark Magician goes, leave us. And nobody moves. So, you are now ready to see this Dark Magician. Obviously, he knew you were coming. So the Dark Magician raises up his staff and slams it against the ground. And now I need you to give me a number. He's a good distance away, by the way. He's a good 150 feet. And these two, this skull and this shadow creature, are about, 50 feet away from you. I need a number between 2 and 12.
Google's real quick. What is Donald Trump's favorite number? 10.
All right, it's an 8. So, as the door goes to shut, it turns out you're really good at kicking doors. The door can't latch back shut. Even with the with the amount of slamming he tries to do with it, it just doesn't work. So, you are now able to leave at any time if you feel like this is not worth it.
Okay.
All right. So he tries to slam the door, it doesn't work. The skeleton starts to walk toward you. As does the shadow creature, one coming from the left and one coming from the right. So you have the options. You can either fight either of these two and summon another creature. You can try to outsmart either one of the two of them. You can run like a little bitch, or you can random draw.
Random draw.
All right.
Let's get freaky.
So, all right. For some reason, I keep rolling a 7 every time that I do this. I should play craps or something. So, you end up with kind of I'm going to do this a little bit differently because it's a random draw, because I have a whole bunch of things. I've got something lined up here. But I need you to give me another number between 2 and 12 to see if it gets better or not.
9.
All right, it was a 7. So, out comes your progressive-ass fish. But your progressive-ass fish is not alone. Because you have also cast a spell aura around you that allows you to summon a second creature at the same time. So you now also have a zebra buddy. A progressive fish and a zebra who's black and white because he motherfucker don't see color. Because he don't have any. So these two, natural opposites. How are they going to get along? Should we make them tag team champions?
I know, right?
So, you've got these two guys.
What's the name of the zebra from Madagascar?
Chris Rock.
Yeah, Chris Rock the zebra.
All right. It is called Dark Zebra, just saying. is the name of the card.
Is Chris Rock? Okay, the skeleton is Mike Pence. The dark shadow is Will Smith.
Oh, God. Shadow creature with no eyes. Now that you mention that, I'm going to give you a picture of this King of Yamimaki. I want you to put it right next to Will Smith and tell me you've seen them in the same room at the same time. What?
It has no eyes and Will Smith has no balls.
So now, keep in mind, your fish still only has 2 health. This zebra also has 18 attack, just like the fish, so now you can decide, they're close enough, whether you want to attack these creatures and servants and whatnot.
I'm going to attack.
Alright. Are you going to start with the zebra or the fish?
I'm going to go with the fish.
Alright, who are you going to attack? Are you going to attack the skeleton, or are you going to attack the Shadow of Smith?
Well, I feel like the fish would hate Mike Pence more, so Mike Pence.
Which one was that? The skeleton?
Skeleton.
Okay. So, give me a number.
2.
Alright, it was a 5. So your fish goes to swat its tail at the skeleton, but your fish forgot it didn't have a tail. So it missed. It just it went right in front of the skeleton's head, and skeleton waved kind of like hi, and the fish went back kind of like, oh, turned a lot red out of embarrassment.
You goober.
But he doesn't, he didn't have a tail. He's been fighting his ass off, so, kind of a threatening swim around, I guess. So now you've got your zebra. Now, for what it's worth, you attack this skeleton or this shadow creature with either of these two and land it, you're probably going to kill it.
Okay.
So, which one would you like to attack?
Shadow creature.
Okay.
Chris Rock wants revenge on Will Smith.
That's right. Well, give me a number.
6.
All right, it was a 2.
Oh, shit.
Now, because this is Snake Eyes, and we have not hit a Snake Eyes before, I'm adding another layer onto this. Something's going to happen, and I need you to roll again. And the closer you are to the number, the less damage it's going to do to you. Give me a number.
5?
Wow. So, here's what happens. Another hole opens up in the ground. This time there's acid in it.
Oh, shit.
But you were loud enough to go, "Get the fuck out of the way!" Actually, what you said was, "Look, a Republican voting!" And both your fish and the zebra both looked in that direction and dove out of the way as the hole opens up and closes right back up and nothing gets hit. It was exactly a 5. You saved yourself.
Damn. Those damn Republicans and their voting.
That giant hole was enough to force the zebra to withdraw its attack, and it couldn't land it. So, thankfully, nothing came out of it, and everything was saved, but nothing has happened as a result.
Just like in real life, because the conservatism misses again.
That's right. So now you see this magician. He's still sitting on the throne. He's still sitting on the throne, and all of a sudden he stands up and he throws his staff in between Mike Pence and whoever the hell we were calling.
Will Smith.
And Will Smith. And all of a sudden, a giant triangle forms from that staff, and the skulls and the skeleton and the shadow creature both walk into the triangle. And they both get absorbed into the staff, and as the staff stands up and glows, a beam pours out of it, shoots up into the air, and goes right in front of the magician. Both the skeleton and the shadow creature are destroyed, and they have been fused into a gigantic, fiendly creature. I'd like you to imagine here...
Will Pence.
If you imagine the first... Let's see, what's... Okay, do you remember the boss? I forget which one it is. Oh, God, what's the name of it? Did you ever play ActRaiser?
No.
No. Okay. So then you wouldn't quite get that one. Let's see. What's a good... I'm trying to come up with a good description of it here. One of the grotesque... I forget which one of it... There's a boss in Rygar that looks really grotesque, because it's like just an amalgamation of 4 different things.
Oh.
And...
Is it the weird swimming one?
Yes. Yes, I think so. There's one that's just like super freaky in its look. That's kind of what I'm going for here. It's a big fiendly creature, but what it has done is it has absorbed the attack of both of the creatures that it had come before it. So it now has 23 attack. The magician has 25 attack. The magician has 21 defense, and this new fiend creature has 18 defense.
Damn.
And it is a lot closer to you. So you have these zebras. You have the zebra and you have the fish. You could try to outsmart this fiend creature. And you have these 2 creatures with you, but I will say this. This fiend is not like other ones. If you attack it, it doesn't go through. Whatever your difference is between health and attack, you will lose in health. So, for example, with the 23 attack that this fiend has, if you attack with an 18 and it doesn't go through, you will lose 5 health. Because this is the final stage, baby. This is all the Marbellos. So, your options are you can attack with the 2 you have, you can random draw, or you can try and outsmart this fiend.
I'm going to random draw.
All right.
Leave it to fate. I'm going to let fate decide.
So I'm going to go here with, let's see. I need a number, sir.
4.
Okay. So, you hit a random draw, but it was not a good one. The number was 10.
Oh.
And, unfortunately, it was not the only hole that they had. Because the Dark Magician, presents himself to you. No, I'm kidding. The Dark Magician waves his hand, and all of a sudden the hole opens up, and your fish is plummeted into the hole, and it's closed right back up. Your fish has finally perished.
Oh. And then we find out this dungeon is in Tennessee.
It could be. It could be. Now, here's the problem. Now your zebra's sitting there, and this fiend who's standing in between you and this magician is not looking too happy. And he sees this zebra, and he goes, I don't like your comedy. And now, I need another number, because he's going to attack you. What'd you get?
3.
All right. It's an 11.
Oh, shit.
So this fiend, he takes his hand, and he just detaches it from his body, and he just scrunches down his thumb and his index finger and his ring finger and his pinky, and he basically throws a middle finger at your zebra, and it hits the zebra right in the skull and pierces through the zebra's skull, and the zebra just collapses in a heap, and your zebra is also destroyed.
Damn, I've lost Chris Rock and Lady Gaga.
But that's not all, because now the magician is going to try and knock you down. Now, you only have 3 of these revives before we're officially done. You were here at the end, but you can still lose this whole adventure.
Okay.
But I need a number.
Between 2 and 12?
2 and 12.
10.
All right, it was a 7. So the Dark Magician goes for a shot, a Dark Magic Blast, and he goes to hit you, and you go to dodge, but it knocks your staff and hits you in the arm, and that's enough for you to kind of hobble and bleed out, and you have now fallen. So now you got to say another nice thing.
Aww.
And the nice thing you have to say something nice about let's see, who do you hate? Who do you hate? Boy, that's a list. I want you to say something nice about let's see, there's nothing but good things to say about him. I want you to say something nice about George Takei.
George Takei?
Yes.
His oh my is hilarious.
Is it?
To me it is.
Still?
Yes.
Forever?
I mean, when my fish died, it went oh my as it died.
All right, well, if your fish did it, then I guess that's what it well. Yeah, that's what I like. All right, so you have bounced back up here. So now you have an option. You need to summon something so you can protect yourself, because you only have one more revive like that before it's over.
I still have Vector and the dinosaur.
Yes, they're in your pool, so you can still summon them out. But there are also other stronger monsters. So you can either summon, you can try to outsmart this fiend, or you can random draw again.
I'm going to summon.
All right. So, I need a number, sir.
7.
All right, it's a 3. So, you get a basically a... Let's see, where is he? You get a turtle. And this turtle's got spikes on its back, but he's not really moving very far. He's got 18 health, so he's not that bad. Might be able to provide a little bit of shielding for you, or at least block and attack. So,
can I name him Franklin?
You can name him Franklin if you'd like. That's the second time I've thought of Franklin in as many weeks, and that is ridiculous, because that show was the bomb.
Hell yeah.
Anyway.
Save the Franklin.
That's right. So the Fiend looks at it, he's not too happy about it. He's going to fight him in a Hell in a Cell, and then the ref's going to DQ him. So I need a roll to see if this turtle's going to live.
Okay. 5.
Alright, it was a 4.
Oh, finally.
So, this Fiend goes to throw a middle finger at this turtle, and this turtle just does what a turtle does and go, boom, and just tucks itself right on in, and that middle finger just bounces off the shroud. Doesn't
Way
attack,
to go, Franklin.
deflects the attack, he's still standing. But now you see the magician, he's still sitting on his throne, he's not worried, he's casting spells from outside. So if it's a 1 to 3, he's going to attack. He's going to cast a spell if it's 4 to 5, and if it's a 6, something bad's going to happen.
Okay.
All right. It's a 3, so he's going to attack, so I need another number.
6.
All right, it was a 10.
Shit.
So, the Dark Magician gets another ball, he takes his staff, and he takes the top end of the staff, and there's like a little ball attached to it, and he unscrews it, and he takes it, and he lobs it up, and he swings at it like a baseball, and that hits right inside where that turtle's head would go. And it just hits in like a mini golf thing and goes poof, and it explodes the turtle. Your turtle is no more.
Fucking lobbed a grenade at my turtle.
That's right. So, you can summon again. You've still got a laundry list of creatures. You can summon again and try again. You can try to outsmart this Fiend. You're still too far away from this magician, though.
I'm going to summon again.
All right. I need a number.
4.
All right, it's a 6. Out comes your reptile creature.
Vector!
Your reptile creature's back. He's still got 18 attack. He's still pretty solid. He can take this... he can at least take a chunk out of this Fiend if he attacks. You can still decide if you land a perfect attack here, like if you call the number exactly, you could hit this magician. You won't kill him, but you can hit him with the acid ball. You can root yourself around this Fiend.
Okay.
So what is your choice?
I'm going to try to attack.
All right.
I'm sick of this guy's shit. Give me Donald Trump shit.
Give me your number.
7. 7 all the way, baby.
All right, it was a 6.
Oh, shit.
Which is good.
Okay.
It's not perfect, but it's good. Because that means this reptile warrior, he takes that acid and he spits it into his hands. And he takes those hands and he goes to lock up with this Fiend, and the Fiend goes to throw a punch at him, and the reptile ducks and just punches him twice in the dick with his 2 acid hands. And all of a sudden, this Fiend's genital area has been melted away.
Oh.
He's not dead, but he's hurt. That definitely did some damage. That did some damage. He only had 2020 defense. So he's now down to 2 defense. He's hurt pretty badly. But he still can attack you.
He doesn't have a dick anymore.
He can still throw his middle fingers at you. But
what's funny about that, my mom was watching Grey's Anatomy, and it was an episode where this woman cut this dude's dick off.
There you go. But
not even this.
No, it's true. It's just I urge you, if you want to see dick throwing, to watch Game Over, man. But that's a different thing. That's with the Workaholics guys. But this Fiend is not looking too good. But here's what's going to happen. If it's a 1 to 2, it's going to skip its turn because it's too hurt. If it's 3 to 4, it's going to heal itself. And if it's 5 to 6, he's going to try and launch another attack.
Okay.
And the roll is a 1. So he's sitting there and he goes, "Oh, my dick, you burned enough on my dick." He can't move. He's busy recovering. So now the Dark Magician is faced with a similar situation. Same rolls as before, but he's also going to slam his staff into the ground again. So I need you to roll to see what is or is not going to happen here.
Okay.
All right, give me a number.
5.
All right, it was a 7. So
Not
thankfully, this little earthquake, reptiles are pretty agile, so it clamps onto the ground and holds onto it. But there is a rock that hits his hip a little bit, so he loses only 2 health. He's got 8 left. Now this Dark Magician's turn is a 1. He decides that he's now looking at this fiend, and now he's going to roll a 1 to 3 or a 4 to 6. If it is 1 to 3, he's going to heal the fiend. If it's 4 through 6, or 4 to 5, he's going to attack you. And if it's 6, that attack of the earthquake actually absorbed too much of his attack, and he won't be able to do anything. And it is a 6. So his earthquake, he overjudged the earthquake, and his throne broke.
Oh, Donald Trump's like, earthquake attack. Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's so. He didn't expect that at all. So all of a sudden, the throne is gone, and now he's standing on the rubble. He's not very happy, but it did knock a health off of him. He now has 20 health. Does the magician.
Gonna go with Donald Trump.
Now, this fiend has no dick, and the magician has no throne, and your reptile warrior could easily make piecemeal out of this fiend now. But you can also, with a perfect roll, potentially hit Dark Magician, but you also could outsmart. Now, at this point, you've gotten close enough where you can talk to this Dark Magician. If you outsmart this Dark Magician, you can convince this Dark Magician to fight man to man, and he will kill the fiend himself.
Okay.
But if you attack the fiend and kill it, that's basically doing the same deal, only he will use his turn, instead of attacking you, he will use his turn to kill his own guy.
You know, I'm gonna try to deceive Donald Trump. I'm gonna try to outsmart Donald Trump.
Okay. Let's see.
Quite frankly, I have a very large brain. I don't think you can outsmart me. Look at my staff. Look at it.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, that can't be true. That's not true. Sorry, Brightful, that's not true. Okay. Here we go. Let's do this one. Okay?
Okay.
What was the first fruit that was eaten on the moon? An apple? A peach? Or a pear?
Do I still have a remove an option?
Yes.
Okay. I use a remove an option.
It is not an apple.
You know, I'm gonna go full-on Jack Black with this one. Peaches, peaches, peaches!
Is that your final answer?
Yes, I have a piano and everything.
So you say, hey buddy, I'm a mage, you're a mage, I drank a monster, I don't know what you drink, but I can't tell with all of this clutter out here. So why don't I just tell my reptile that goes to the side, and why don't you just put this guy out of his misery? I burn his dick off, and why don't we just do this man to man, huh? Let's settle this as adults. And this Dark Magician goes, you know what? I like your style. I'm gonna kill your entire village, but I'm gonna match wits with you before I kill you. So this magician picks up his staff and just hucks it right at the exposed dick area of this fiend. And the fiend gets absorbed back into the staff. So
he says to him, you're fired.
The correct answer was, in fact, peaches.
Hell yeah.
And you have now made this a one-on-one affair. But Now, you can use this reptile creature to attack in. Now, keep in mind, you won't kill him, but you'll get pretty close. If you try to acid ball this magician's dick, you've already outsmarted him enough to get close enough and get his buddy out of the way. Now, you can outsmart him. Now, if you outsmart him this time, and you get the trivia question correctly, you will gain an additional attack with your monster, with your reptile man, the next time you fight. So you're going to be giving him stats. Now that still means this magician's going to get another attack in. But that's what that's going to do. Now, you can either attack and weaken him, or you can attack and or you can outsmart and get a boost to potentially attack next turn.
I'm going to do another trivia question.
Okay. So we're doing the outsmart here. Now here's a good one. What U.S. state's constitution, at the time of this website, is the longest in the world? Is it Connecticut? Is it Alabama? Or is it Nevada?
I don't think I have any more eliminated options.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I can?
Yeah.
Eliminate an option.
It is not Connecticut.
I figured it wasn't. I feel like Alabama's the obvious choice. I'm going to go with Alabama. Fuck it.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
So this magician pulls out a book. And he starts going... And you go, hey, can I see that? And he stops chanting and he looks up and he goes, sure. And he throws you the book. And you're like, all right, cool. And you start to read the book.
Donald Trump's memoirs.
And it only has one sentence in it. Pelican Petey loves me, them titties.
Oh, God.
So you take the book and you give it to the reptile warrior and say, memorize that. And
memorize that.
And your reptile warrior is so excited about it.
And Trump says, Pelican Petey grabs him by the
Pelican Petey loves me, them titties. I just grab them all the time. But what that has done
really good.
is now your reptile warrior has the same attack as this magician. Which means if you can resist this magician's attack in this exact round, you will win and you will beat this man.
Okay.
Here we go. Give me your number.
I'm going to go with what I started with. 7.
All right, it was a 6.
Oh, yes.
But this magician, he's getting kind of sick of you being around. So he takes this spear and he starts to put his hand next to the top of it, and he starts to make this giant red ball, and he starts to launch it at you. And at that same time, your reptile warrior launches an acid ball, and it hits this ball of chaos or whatever it is, and they both just kind of splat, and nothing happens. The attack is deflected. Which means now it's your turn. Which means you can now attack, or you can once again try to outsmart this guy. And if you
I'm going to attack. I'm putting an end to this.
All right. So I need a number, sir.
Like January 6th, this motherfucker.
What's the number?
6 for January 6th.
All right. It is an 8.
Not bad.
So it is enough, as all you need to know, because this reptile warrior, he gets a little piece on the ground. He sees on the ground something that he is actually kind of surprised is here, but he finds the little remaining piece of tail from your rainbow fish, and he takes it, and he puts it in his hand, and he spits acid into it, and he runs up, and he just goes and uppercuts this magician, and he knocks his hat off, and the fish head goes right through the jaw and into the mouth and goes and flaps a little bit, as the head and the whole body just gets uppercutted up and hits the ceiling and falls back down, and the magician just dissolves in a cloud of smoke. And all of a sudden, the portal opens up on the left-hand side as all of the lights seem to start going out, and you hear a rumbling, and you run through the portal, and you come out the portal, and it turns out that just dumped you out of the dungeon where you began. You have defeated all of the mages and sorcerers in that dungeon, and the village people are safe.
Hell yeah.
You did it, my friend. You have chosen your own adventure, and you have come out the other side victorious. How does it feel?
I feel the same way I did after the 2020 election.